Welcome to the Credit Repair Show with your host, the Credit Doctor, Angelo McCutcheon, coming to you with another show on how you can repair your credit. And of course, you know this is the Credit Repair Show / the road to 800, because we're going to be giving you a lot of ways and tips on how you can get your credit score up to 800. Guess what? It can be done, not overnight, but if you follow a lot of the tips that we give you, you will be able, and you're disciplined with the tips that we give you, you will be able to move your score up over time up to 800. Even if you get it to the 700s, that's an accomplishment. We say the road to 800 because we know 800 is probably, within 800 is the highest score you can get, 850 or something like that. So go for the road to 800. Even if you land on 700, you will be doing just great. So I want to welcome all of my Facebook Live people, all my YouTube people that are in the house as you come on in. If you watching me on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Good evening, Lala Bennett is in the building. How are you? And if you're watching me on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that share button. And of course, if you want your comments to come into the chat room, if you're watching this on Facebook, just make sure you click on the link, and it will allow you to get access to the chat room. So when you make your comments, I can actually see it in the room. All right. So you guys come on in. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about CPNs, why you should stay away from CPNs. We're going to talk about why you should not be reporting your rent as a means of increasing your credit score, and I'll tell you why. And we're going to be talking about ways of understanding what credit repair is all about when it comes to cleaning up your credit. So definitely you guys come on in the room. Let's see here. We're just going to see what we got here on Facebook. Okay. Yep, we're here on Facebook. All right, so come on in the room, share, hit the like button, hit the share button. If you like what we're saying, definitely give us some hearts, give us some thumbs up. YouTube, hit the like button, thumb up the video, subscribe, and comment. All right, so we just give me a few more minutes for more people to come into the room. Come in and say hello. Come in if you have any questions as we're going through our teaching. Feel free to ask your questions. Let's take some of these things out of here. All right. So again, for those of you who may not know me or may be watching me for the very first time, particularly on YouTube, I am a credit repair. I actually have a credit repair company called the Faithful Credit Group, LLC. I've been helping people fix their credit for over 10 years. We can say close to 15 years now. Educating people also in the process of maintaining good credit, because you got to have good credit as well as taking off the negative items, right? And when we talk about taking off the negative items, we mean anything that's reporting on your credit report as a negative. If you find out they're reporting inaccurate information, incomplete information, you have the right to dispute that information. All right, you definitely have the right to dispute that, which means let's go into our first topic. When we talk about credit repair, some people think credit repair is illegal, and credit repair is not illegal. I want to say that again. Credit repair is not illegal, meaning that you have the right, you can fix your own credit. Now, there are some laws that govern credit repair companies, the kosher laws and things like that. There's some laws that govern that, but overall, credit repair is not illegal. It is actually the legal way that you can clean up inaccurate information that reports on your credit report. All right, and the reason, the two laws that governs that is, one, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, known as the FCRA. And then there's the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is the FDCP. A. All right. Those two laws governs what creditors can do and what they can't do when it comes to putting information on your credit report. It governs what the credit bureaus can do and what they can't do when it comes to putting information on your credit report. And it governs what you can do and what you can't do when it comes to fighting things on your credit report. And so the main thing that those laws that gives the consumer the right to use is basically states that if you see anything on your credit report that you believe is reporting inaccurate, that you believe is an error or incomplete or unverifiable, the Fair Credit Reporting Act says you have the right to dispute that information. Now, how do you go about disputing it? First, you would dispute it with the original creditor. Well, I'm sorry, you would dispute it first with the credit bureaus, and then you can dispute it with the original creditor or the debt collector, the person who brought your debt. But you do have the right to do that. And even if they come back and say, hey, we believe that the information, according to the creditor, is, we verified the information as it reporting accurate. Sometimes when you dispute information, it'll come back and say, hey, it's verified. And you say, well, dang, what can I do? Well, the law then says that, hey, you have the right to follow that up and say, hey, show me the method of how you verify that information. Give me the name of the person you talk to, the company, so I can follow up with that. So you can come back with a follow-up letter and then another follow-up letter if you believe that they're not giving you the desired outcome when you believe something to be inaccurate on your credit report. Now, be very clear. Let's be very clear that the law, or let's say the law is there to protect you, the consumer. It gives you all the tools that you need. So you don't have to do nothing illegal to try to clean up your credit report. You don't have to falsify information or identity theft. There's a lot of tools within the Fair Credit Reporting Act that you can use to help fight inaccurate information on your credit report. A lot of tools on there. It's just a matter of taking time to know what they are, do a little study, follow up, but don't let anybody tell you that you cannot clean up your credit. Don't let anybody tell you that if you have bad credit, that you just have to pay your bills. It's not about paying your bills. And we always say, pay your bills when you have to pay your bills. We don't advocate you not paying your bills, but what we are saying is, if somebody's reporting something that's inaccurate, you have the right to fight that. Don't just let nobody say, hey, you can't fight that. You just got to pay your bill. Why don't you just pay your bill? Just pay your debts. It's unfair. No. Credit repair is the legal way for you to be able to clean up inaccurate information on your credit report. All right, so I want to be very clear about that. I want you guys to really understand that this is important for you to know, because this will help you if you ever decide to clean up your own credit. All right. And a lot of people have done that. And then some people just don't have the time. And so they will hire somebody who does credit repair for a living. And again, you just want to make sure that whoever you hire is going to be doing the right thing. It's not going to be trying to cut corners or do anything illegal, but that they're going to use the tools that the Fair Credit Reporting Act has given them to help you clean up your credit. Because what is my motto? You guys know my motto. You do not have to live with bad credit. There is something, absolutely something you can do about it. And there are a lot of laws out there to help you on that road to 800, get you to that road of 800. So it's a combination. It's a combination of things: building up good credit, right? While removing inaccurate information on your credit report. Okay, so I have good credit. I have good credit with one of my credit cards, but they haven't reported it in, I guess you're saying, in 10 months. Well, here's what you need to do. Now, remember, there is no law that says a creditor has to report your payments to the credit bureaus. There is no law that says they have to. They don't have to. The only law says if they do report it, it has to be 100% accurate, but they don't have to. Now, of course, a lot of them do. So if you have a credit card or you're dealing with a credit card company and you see that they're not reporting it, then you might want to call them up and find out why they're not reporting your payment to the credit bureaus. So I would definitely give them a call and find out why. And maybe just a simple phone call would be something that they might have been saying, you know what, we thought we was reporting it, but thanks for bringing it to our attention. We'll now make sure we report it and even report the past payment history. So definitely reach out to them, because it may be a blessing to you, just the fact of bringing it to their attention. Because I've seen and heard of that being done. All right. So again, and thanks for the question there. Credit repair is the legal way for you to clean up your credit. So you're not doing nothing illegal as long as you stay within the boundaries of the law. Or even if you hire somebody to do your credit, make sure they stay within the boundaries of the law so that they don't get in trouble, you don't get in trouble, it don't come back to bite you later on down the road. All right, so keep that in mind. So let's go over the second thing that we want to talk about. All right, and that's CPN. How many of you guys or gals out there have heard of CPN? Right, it's actually a credit privacy number. It's called a credit privacy number. And years ago, decades, you could say, it used to be a big thing where people would, if they had bad credit, they would get a CPN number and create a whole nother profile. This way they can get credit cards and things in their names, right? And they used to do that big time decades ago. But guess what? The government started cracking down on that, and a lot of people got in trouble for that. And so it kind of went away. It was always there. It's even there now, but it's kind of back on the rise again. And so because of that, I definitely want to touch this subject. So absolutely, CPN number is what is a CPN number? A credit privacy number, which is namely called a credit privacy number. It also has some other names for the CPN. But it's a number that's just like a social security number, right? It's a 9-digit number, just like the social security card, social security number, but only typically may be used by governments to do some. I don't even want to get into how they may use that, but it's not for the consumer. It is not for you. You should not be using a CPN number to try to build a new profile. You know why? Because by doing that, you are breaking the law. It is called fraud anytime you put anything in place of your social security number. So if you found out an application, verbally or written, and they ask for your social and you give them the CPN number, it's fraud. It's a felony. You're breaking the law, and you may get away with it at the moment. But typically with the government, and the government sometimes may be slow, but they'll catch up with you and you'll pay for that. So definitely, I know now there's a lot of people out there trying to sell CPN numbers. Let's see here. Right, because a credit repair just got arrested for writing fake. Yes, I talked about right, I talked about this on my last live about the lady who was arrested for falsifying fake identity thefts. She did it. She got away with it for a while, but then the government caught up with her. Right, the credit bureaus found out something was going wrong, and they started doing a deep dive into it, and then all of a sudden it traced back to her, and now all the people she helped and helped build their credit, all that's now going to be taken away. So yes, you don't want to be doing anything illegal. You don't want to be trying to cut corners, because it will come back to bite you. All right, so CPN numbers. And sometimes I see people on Instagram, these people trying to sell CPN numbers, and they flashing all this money, and they telling you, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You can get a other people do it. Big corporations may do it. You can get, and they will sell you this. They will sell you this. Take your money, and guess what? You'll be the one going to jail because you are committing fraud. And I can't say it enough. You're committing fraud. It's a felony. You're lying on an application. And remember, anytime any company or anybody asks for your social, as far as you're applying for any type of credit, and they're asking for your social, if you don't put your actual social security number in there, any other number you put in there is a felony. It's fraud, bank fraud, whatever you want to call it, is fraud. And it's a crime and it's a felony. And again, the government may be slow in some areas, but sometimes I see people get, here, I shouldn't say see people, but I read stories of people being caught 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road, 3 years down the road, right? So you may think you're getting away, just like the PPP loan, right? You guys know when the COVID came and they was giving out all these loans to PPP, people were making up that they had companies and this and that, and they were saying, they they was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars for companies that they never really had, just making up companies, and they were getting the money. They were literally getting the money. The government may move slow, but guess what? A year later, the government started cracking down on all these people who are getting these thousands and hundreds and just so much money from the PPP loans for businesses they never had. So the government will catch up with you. So again, remember, CPN numbers. If you see anybody selling CPN numbers, then hello there. Again, if you're watching me there on Facebook, in order for me to actually see who what your name is, right? Make sure you hit that link that's above the video, so that when you comment, it'll come into the chat room and it should come up with your name. But whoever said hello, Pastor, I'm saying hello back to you as well. All right. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to tell me your name, just type it in so I'll know exactly who you are. All right. So stay away from CPN numbers, right? You said thanks for the hearts. And you see people selling these on Instagram. You see them selling this on TikTok. You may see reels, and they say, hey, they can get away with it. They flashing all this money, and they may be an influencer, or they may have all these followers, but that don't mean nothing if they breaking the law and trying to get you to break the law. And I understand that a lot of times people are so desperate, right, to do something because financially they may be down and out, like, what else can I do? Things not going my way. So when somebody comes up and say, hey, I have a way in which you can start a whole new profile and you can get cards, you can get this and get that, message me, text me, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. And it ends up being they trying to sell you a CPN number. Well, yes, then they're causing you to break the law if you follow up on it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Patricia Adams is in the building. How are you? How are you? How are you? All right, so stay away from CPN numbers. I can't stress it enough. Stay away from CPN numbers, also known as a credit privacy number. You cannot use that to build a new credit profile. Don't let nobody sell you on that. Don't let nobody try to get you in trouble, all the while taking your money and causing you to go to jail. So definitely stay away from those CPN numbers. All right. Can I get some thumbs up? Can I get some hearts there? And if you have any questions, please type it in. Type it in. We'll be glad to take any questions that you may have on anything related to credit repair, student loans, debt collectors, or anything like that. So with that in mind, let me talk about something else that I feel is important, because I had the discussion a couple of times earlier this week. Now, you know how a lot of you guys are adding things to help build up your credit, right? So you might add your light bill, right? Your on-time payments, Experian Boost. Most of you guys have heard of Experian Boost, right? You can add your light bill, your cable bill, and as long as you're making it on time, it will help improve your score. That's good. That's right. Now, a lot of people have moved into the area where there's a lot of companies now say, hey, if you want to report your rent, your on-time rent, we can use that to help build. We can report that to the credit bureaus to help build up your credit. Right? Every month you make your rent on time, we'll report that to the credit bureau. That'll help boost your score. And guess what? It will help boost your score. Hey, my sister, how you doing? It will help boost your score by adding your rent. Right? Now, that's the good part of it. But let me tell you the bad thing about adding your rent to help boost your credit score. Right? And this will only affect you if you plan on buying a home in the next year or two. Right? If you don't plan on buying a home or if you don't plan on buying a home at all, then you can use your rent to help increase your credit score. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you plan on buying a home, then you do not want to add that to your credit report while you're in the process of purchasing a home. Why is that? Because remember that lenders and mortgage companies, the way they go over your credit report is something called your debt to ratio, or DTI, debt to income, right? What is your debt? How much debt you have compared to how much income you have coming in. Now, typically, mortgage companies do not use your rent. They don't calculate what your rent is when it comes to your debt to income. They don't count. But if you have that reporting on your credit report, then they're going to use that. And in most cases, it will hurt your debt to income ratio. That's the bad part of using your rent to improve your credit score while you're trying to purchase a home. Take that off. Stop that from reporting when you know you're going to buy you a home. Because mortgage companies will then use, now typically they normally don't use your rent, but if they see it on your credit report being reported, then they're going to use that. And 9 out of 10 times, it's going to hurt you more so than it's going to help you. And I think this is important for everybody to know this, because a lot of people do that. Report your rent. And again, when you don't know, then you'll be glad to, hey, I'm going to report I pay my rent on time every month. Here, yes, report that. I want to get a big boost in my credit score. And it will help, but it will hurt you if you're trying to purchase a home and then they go in and they use that debt, because that would be considered debt, which would then bring your debt to income ratio maybe in a point where they say, hey, we can't give you the loan because your debt to income doesn't match up. You're not making enough money compared to enough debt you're paying. And that's where it hurts people, and people tend not to find that out until the last minute. So that's why I want to make sure you guys know about this. And I want to make sure you guys know that reporting your rent as on-time payment is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing if you plan on purchasing a home. You don't want them to use that. You don't want them to calculate that into your debt to income ratio. All right? So I just wanted to definitely make that clear, make that known to you guys so you know. All right? If you have any questions, again, type it in. I'm just about finished here. Unless anybody have any questions, any credit-related questions that they want to ask me, Again, I always appreciate you guys coming on. If there's anybody that's listening or watching and you would like a free consultation with the credit doctor over the phone, then definitely, if you're on Facebook, just message me. If you're on YouTube, you can just go into the description. You can find my email address. You can find me on Facebook. All my information is in the description of all my videos. So there's no way that you cannot get in contact with me. Right. So we're offering a free over the phone consultation, and anybody who's interested in knowing more about how to clean up their credit or what we do to help our clients clean up their credit, we would just want to give you that opportunity. But we can only offer it. You must make the call. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, continue to follow, hit the notification bell. So whenever we go live, you will get the notification and you can watch us live. But you can always watch the replay at any time. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Stay blessed, whatever you do. Stay blessed. But what's even more important is that you are a blessing. And with that, we say, have a blessed day.